just got finished reading this book, The Hiltons, The True Story of an American Dynasty, and wanted to give my review of it. So the book is the story of Hilton Hotels, starting all the way back in the early 1900s. Conrad Hilton's this entrepreneur who lived through the Depression, had 3 or 4 hotels throughout the early part of the 1900s, had to go through World War II and the Great Depression, lost everything, and had to rebuild it from scratch. Then the book goes through the rest of his family, what happened to his kids, what happened to his kids' kids, all the way up to modern day Hiltons like Paris Hilton. First interesting takeaway from this book was how resilience pays off. One of the initial things Conrad talks about is during like the 1920s when he was initially building up his hotel empire, everything was booming. Everyone was getting loans, capital was super cheap. It was very easy to build at that time and get loans at that time. What happened though during the Great Depression is a lot of people couldn't cover their bills and people started foreclosing on their hotels. Like a lot of the other hoteliers just got knocked out of business. But during all this, Conrad made sure to keep paying his bills, like even just the minimum payment, and banks worked with him because everybody else was defaulting. But what that meant is, yeah, his empire shrunk considerably. He even had to borrow money from one of his bellboys to pay some bill that he was owed. But after the Depression was over, all of the bankers and all these people that were loaning money saw that everybody defaulted except for Conrad Hilton. And that's what unlocked the capital that allowed him to expand right after the Great Depression was over. The other part of the story goes through what Conrad's 2 sons did. One was a screw up, like alcoholic. He was marrying a bunch of celebrities, but he was partying super hard, ended up actually killing himself. And then the other brother took over the entire empire, used every opportunity he had to actually take over the Hilton Empire and grow it to new heights. But the most important thing I learned from that struggle, there were actually 3 brothers, but 2 of them were doing the hotel stuff, was use opportunities. A lot of us are born into great situations. If you're living in America, you're lucky you weren't born in somewhere else. Like my co-founder Robert's out in Romania, where the average salary is about $500 US a month, and the top salary for an engineer is $1,500 a month. So if you make more than $500 a month, you're average in that entire country. So that's huge. And using those opportunities is huge. So it's interesting to see 2 people in the exact same situation, both sons of a future billionaire, or one of the richest people, one of the most successful people in the hotel business. It's interesting to see one of them use the opportunity and become an even richer guy, and then the other one completely squander the opportunity and end up killing himself. And the last thing I learned from this book was how everything comes full circle. The final scene of the book, and this is a spoiler alert, but it's a nonfiction book, so I think that's okay. The last scene of the book is Paris Hilton walking out of a restaurant with her grandfather, Baron Hilton, who actually Donald Trump named his son Baron after Baron Hilton for a business deal, which is actually all outlined in the book. It's super interesting. But she's walking out of the restaurant, and all the paparazzi are on top of her, like taking pictures and all this stuff. She's posing for them. And the book goes into detail about how Paris Hilton's business status, her rise as the only Hilton in the new generation, except for maybe her sister that's gotten to any sort of success, is actually due to her acting exactly like Conrad. She uses her appeal and her personality in the same way that Conrad uses his prowess to get hotels early on, and she uses that to get fame later in life. And it's just very full circle. If you find this video valuable, be sure to like it to encourage this type of content, subscribe for more B2B sales training, and if you need marketing support for your digital agency, check out experiment27.com. Thanks.